Good morning. This is my late started garden. As you can see, the black is weed barrier because I don't like to weed. And I'm gonna just go along and show you the plants. I've got 2 or 3 different types of eggplant. And I've got some holes in the leaves which aren't really bothersome, but I did have to spray them with BT. You can see they have a purple flower, and you can see the baby eggplants hanging on and the older ones at the bottom. Here you can see some bigger, this white one with the pink or purple is ping tongue. It's a Taiwanese eggplant. You can actually make a cake out of this, and it looks like I've got quite a few. So you get to sample the cake. And there's some under there that are ready to pick. And you can see the damage that the cabbage loppers did on the leaves. But doesn't seem to be affecting the crop. So I've got a variety of peppers in here also. I've got my lemon pepper, which escapes me, the name of it escapes me right now. And I also have some basil here. I think this is Orlando's lemon basil. It's blooming. I cut off the blooms. You don't want basil to bloom because it turns the leaves bitter. But I'll get back to you on the name of the pepper. It's got a lemony taste, and it's got a little medium heat, but not so much heat that it's not like habanero heat. And then in the middle of my garden, I've got both bush and pole beans. The pole beans are the ones that climb. I just watered them so that I need to tighten up my trellis work with my baleen twine. But they've got lots of blooms, and they're some of them are Roma too, which is a really good Italian wide bean that's got a lot of flavor, much more flavor than anything you can get in the grocery store. That looks like sun gold down there, ripening up. I was worried that these tomato plants weren't gonna make it, and I cheated and I went and bought this bigger plant. I think it was about the end of June that I got it. There weren't many to choose from, so it's a red cherry, and I'm not sure about it yet. This is that yellow pear that came and was developed, I think, in Oklahoma. So I'm curious to see if this has more flavor than the typical yellow pear. So you can see that I've got my indeterminate tomatoes caged. Those are the tomatoes that are going to continue to be vining and continue to produce a crop, hopefully all the way till Thanksgiving. They've already outgrown their cages. I can remember these were a month ago. They looked horrible and they weren't very big. So they're coming along. So I'm optimistic. I started out, you can see the shade cloth that I ended up deciding was providing a little bit too much shade because my plants were stretching out too much. So I took that off, especially with it turning a little bit cooler. This week's supposed to be a little cooler, and then the weekend's supposed to be hot again, so it may go back on. Although I may have trouble covering some of these ones that are growing above the wire cages. I built these wire cages probably 15 years ago, and I bought a roll of I think it's concrete reinforcement wire is what it is. I bought a roll at Citizens Lumber in Selma before they closed, and it was cheap, but I use these from year after year, so I'll never have to buy another wire cage. So you see I'm gonna have a lot of beans because I've got a lot of blooms. And this Roma 2 is the variety that we started in a cup last semester, so you could see what comes first out of the bean seed. And I planted them out in that raised bed, and they're still out there. There's just 2 plants, but I've actually had a couple of single serving meals off of that. And again, those beans have delicious flavor. So I'm just about out of time if I want to load this. So I think I'll call it quits. I have too much shade back here. I barely have 6 hours. So in a way, it's a blessing and a curse because it keeps my plants from getting too stressed out from direct sun, but it also causes them to see what they're doing here. Look, this one's stretching all the way up to the shrub or the weed. I think it's a weed tree that I need to get rid of. It's out of control, like so much of my yard. And just real quickly, I've got figs over here. I'm gonna be bringing some figs, but the figs are ripening. You can see them there, and they're probably ready to pick. This one right here, I'm gonna pick. And you can see that the fig tree also has run amok, and there's the tree up there, and there's what I feed the birds because I can't get up there to get those at the top, so the birds can have those as long as they leave some for me on the bottom. All right, that's it.